All right, Dad, what do we got here? 1754 Tracker Grizzly.
Yep.
What size motor's on there?
15 horsepower Tohatsu.
We were getting about 10 miles an hour on just quarter throttle. I think it'll get up to 20. Just got this boat a couple weeks ago. We're starting some modifications. As you can see, we drilled out the front plates. We're going to put front spotlight, navigation lights. A bunch of the stuff is right here. We're going to put some bow storage.
The reason we only went quarter was break-in period.
Yeah, we only went break-in period on the motor. So right now we're going to put a bunch of stuff on here. We duck hunt quite a bit, so we got this rig for that. Just want to point out a couple things real quick with the boat. Wiring there's a big to-do over these trackers. Everybody's running them underneath the gunnels, but if you take a wire snake, you can actually go up through the bottom of the boat. There's absolutely no foam down the center of the boat. So as long as you keep your wire insulated, you shouldn't have any problems. The foam is all injected in these ports where there's plugs. But you can get all the way up to the front of the boat. As you can see, the wire's sticking out. It took us about 3 seconds to get it up in the front. And it should be easy to run wires side to side. There's no foam in there. But there is a little bit of foam on the side. So that's the foam that goes down the side of the boat, the whole length. So in order to get our bow storage, we're going to have to cut out some stuff here. There is no foam down the center of the boat, so this wire is easy to run. All right, we're going to update you as we go. It's not going to be a step-by-step, but we'll show you some stuff as we go along. So instead of buying expensive battery wire, we got a set of 20-foot cables off Amazon. They're 4-gauge. Dad's about to take off the little clamps so that we can use this cable to its full length. It's a 20-foot length, so it should run the whole length of the boat.
And we're going to cut this end
Just
off,
cut it off, yeah.
right here on the bandsaw, and it'll pull right out.
What we're going to do is you cut just past here, about right here, and the wire will fall out. Like that. All right, just tape the cable real good to your snake. We're going to pull it out back through the back of the boat.
Now, you can get these at Lowe's for like 10 bucks, 15 bucks.
It's a 25-foot length for 10 bucks, right? All right, let's try it. So you can see the old man's feeding the wire down through the front, the bow of the boat. We're coming back here towards the stern. You can hear it coming through. There she is. Got it. So as it turns out, these wires aren't going to be long enough. 20 feet was not enough to go the length of the boat. So we got an old pair. You can see them there, that orange pair. Dad, if you want to hold them up. We're going to splice everything else we need from these jumper cables because they're old and they have a split in them anyway. We've got our front bow light. Yep, you've got that. We've got our navy light. We're going to put 2 hatches in the top, so we will need to cut just a bit of this foam out, but we've made it so we have to cut just enough out to get a battery up front, which is where the cable's coming from. You can see the other lines ready to go to run all the wires back to the stern. We're going to put a battery shutoff and a switch panel here to run bow lights, navigation lights, spotlights for the rear. We've also got bilge pump, and we're going to put gunnel lights that are green down the sides of both gunnels. And you can see those will sit there nicely. We're going to run bilge pump. Here's our, I think they call them, you would call them docking lights. They're going to face out this way to put decoys out while you're out in the dark. And then you got to run an all-around navigation light. I got the smallest one because I don't like them. And then another docking light on that side. What we're going to do is we're going to run a block in here so we can hook the motor up via that block. And then when we switch out from the Tohatsu for fishing in the summer, we're going to run a Go Devil mud motor, a surface drive, so we'll be able to just swap it out right here at the block, pull the motor off, hoist it up, change the motor out, and run the new motor. So that's what the attempt is. We're going to start drilling some holes and running some wires, and we'll get back to you in a little bit, let you know how it is. Again, just real quick, when you're running the second wire, as you're pulling it from the front, you're going to run down the main beam underneath. You may have to tug on that, tug on this cable, because it got stuck a couple times. Not badly, just it got fed up on these cables. So if you just jiggle this around a little bit, your snake will make it through. Straightening out the cable that's going to run all the dock and nav lights to the front. We'll straighten it out, tape it a couple feet all the way up, tape it to the stringer, and pull it out. Taking a break from the wiring for a minute, we're going to set up so we can have 3 seats. There's little black marks down the center. We're going to have 3 seats down the center. Put some posts in. We've measured. They won't hit the floor. We've got some room. So we should be able to drill all 3 of these plates in and have 3 seats right down the middle. Okay, we got the floor in. You can see there's enough room for 3 duck hunters to sit in here, and they put them right down the center so you could face either direction. And plus, it's kind of nice to have people in the center when we're riding out. So you can either ride up sitting on that deck, or you could put one of the posts down here and sit in the middle. But I wanted to show you something in here. You drill out this hole, and what you'll notice is down there, that square channel is actually where all the wires run from the front to the back of the boat. Now up in the front of the boat, probably right under this piece here, is where it ends. So when you're pulling wires in, you might get caught up there. We wire loomed the entire wire with tape, and it slid real easy. We had a struggle there for a little bit.
Pulled like 8 wires up.
Yeah, we pulled like 8 wires up. So I just wanted to show you, if you get up there, we got 8 14 gauge wires and that big giant wire, so you can see where they all kind of run right now out to the lights. So pretty cool. Should work well. That bilge pump wire is just hanging over the back, but they run all the way up that boat inside that little channel. And what's cool is that when you drill down, even if you go too far, you're going to hit that channel and not the hull of the boat. And then you got to kind of, we took a coat hanger in to fish out the negative space that fell through. So no big deal, but once these are in, it's a 1/4 inch aluminum plate. Should have no problem sitting on the post. It's actually thicker than that front, and that's super strong. So I assume that these ones are going to be really, really tough, because we'll have, you know, a 13-inch post plus the duck seats that look like that. We'll have 3 across the middle when we duck hunt. Well, we've been working on this thing for a long time today. I think we're pretty spent, but you get the idea. We got our dock light here on the side. Just got to tighten up where we want it. And this little flip light here as a stand-up light for legality reasons at night. But ultimately, you can just pull it down, push it up. Typically we'll run with it down, because who cares about having it up during the day. And then these will all shine out to the...
Notice the little rubber grommet.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And then the little rubber grommet worked out real well. All the wires tucked down nice. Gave it a little room for this one because it does move a little bit. And then all these will get... These are all done. These will get loomed up and tucked up underneath the deck. Looking good. Almost there. We've got all the grounds hooked up. We're ready to run some lights. We've got the battery hooked up. Well, not hooked up, but all ready so we can put these blocks on to that transom brace to swap motors. And what we're working on now is the big idea is to cut out this hole for the plates that go on the top, the little hatches. This is going to be the battery side. We're going to put the switches here, mostly so we can get to the fuses easier, because once they're in there, the battery's going to be in there. It's going to be a pain in the butt. And then we're going to put the battery cutoff switch over close to the corner, and then the battery will be cut off from this switch when we're not using the boat. So we'll get back with you once we get it cut out and we're starting to dig out the foam and let you see what it looks like. So we got the hole cut out. There is one beam in there. But you shouldn't have a problem with that beam because it's on 2 trusses in the middle. Dad's popping out the foam to get the battery box in. And then we installed one of the seat posts in the middle. It's super solid in there. You're going to need to, to do it, you're going to get the perfect drill bit, because we broke one of the screws off in the plate because it's aluminum. But once you get the right drill bit, it threads itself in there nice. It's super strong. But we'll see how it handles when we ride out on it. Sit rep. We dug a bunch of foam out. It's out. We're done with that part. We got the switch in to kill the battery. Tucked up in there. We drilled a hole for the battery wire to come through. I'm going to drill a hole now for the switch plate here so that we can access all the fuses by the back. It should be easier. So that's where the hole's going to go through. We just used a little plug. That hole is for the bilge pump to go out the side of the boat, but we're just going to hang it over the back of the boat if we ever need to use it. And then after that, we figure everything else is wiring and covering things with battery or cable loom and getting those zipped against the back wall there, and then we'll be able to test this sucker out as far as does everything turn on and not start on fire. So almost there. All right, so here we go. We're hooking up the battery now. Putting some good screws in here to hold these plates. You can see here we've hot glued the ground bus to the back of this plate. It'll go in there. Dad's just fitting up the battery containment. Just getting some form fitting to make sure it closes nice and neat. And it does. Looks pretty good. Not enough yet.
I don't know yet.
And then the switches are all in here.
Yeah, that is all the way down.
And then you can see in here all the wires are running up inside the middle section all the way to the front. Battery fits.
Well, check her out.
Okay, so flip it open. Opens up, battery's in there. Flip it down. Once you lock them in, and that fits. Beautiful. The switch panel was pretty easy to wire up. We made a wiring diagram that I will put on the screen now. And then we use that plug to get all the wires through. You can see there's a couple wires that got to come through to go to the battery. That's easy to do. And then the headlight, all the wires are zip tied up, and then they just kind of rest in there. So in the back here, you can see the bilge pump is down there. We don't have any live wells, so we only need one bilge pump. The hose will come from here and just kind of hang over the back if we ever need to use it. Our battery cable from here comes down, and it hooks to these blocks right here. So here's your main wires. The red is in the back, and the black is in the back. So the back ones are the ones from the battery. The front ones are the ones that the motor will attach to. They also cut off with that big switch, and if you hit that big switch on, then the motor will start. So that's pretty cool. Then all you gotta do, snap them closed for the season. Oop. Probably don't put them so close. Oh, that one doesn't snap closed. We'll have to move it. There you go, all snap closed. Just had to move that one down a little bit, but it's all snap tight. We just gotta put a little piece of rubber across that metal flashing where the wires rest on. I just don't trust it. There's one way up in front where the wires wrap around so they don't cut, but I just don't trust this metal flashing. Although everything is in a heavy-duty cover, or it has heavy-duty stuff in there, I just feel like we need to put some rubber on there. But ultimately, they just all come to here, and I can get to the fuses nice and easy. Pretty much done now. What we've done is got the battery in there. All these are bolted in nice and clean. We vacuumed the boat out. You can see we've put everything in wire loom, but we haven't put that. We got fish, so we're not going to put that up yet. And then all the switches are nice and clean. The boat, for all intents and purposes, is done except for one more hatch on the left side, but we don't need to do that right now. So you can see over there, Dad, if you want to flip the big switch, that battery cutoff switch, when you hit it, turns your switches on. It reads 12.7 volts to the marine battery. Flip the bilge pump switch quickly. That's the last one. You can hear the bilge pump is on and there's a green light there. So what we're going to do is we'll show you the front of the boat real quick. Dad, hit the headlights while they're bright. All right, clip them off. Then you got your running lights of the third one. Well, then you got your back fog lights there, your docking lights. Then you got your running lights, and then inside the boat, you've got your green lights so you can see inside the boat at night. Okay, let's check it out. Let's say it's dusk. Turned everything off in the shop. Flip the switch. You got your 12 volts. Hit the front light if I can find it. Oh my god, super bright. And then you got your side lights, your interior lights. They're bright. They're bright. Way brighter than I thought they would be. And then of course your running lights. I don't think anybody's ever gonna see this running light with that thing behind it. So just pass me on the right side, okay? Just pass me on the right side if you see me. Job well done.